Okay, this is going to be a short video because I just need to get this off my chest. Um, People occasionally write into me for asking for writing tips and writing advice and that kind of thing. And uh, this is something that usually they're talking about things like, getting a good story or character development or things like that, and are getting a good plot structure or character development or setting, world building, things like that. But grammar, I think grammar is treated as like the boring nuts and bolts of writing that most people aren't interested in. And one of the most important things about writing is not getting addicted to adverbs. In everyday speech, when we're communicating with one another, adverbs are fine. They flow by just fine and they don't inhibit understanding or complicate what's being said. But in writing, adverbs are mostly, usually, generally, frequently unnecessary. And if you overindulge in adverbs, all you do is make your writing it almost becomes psychologically painful to even look at your writing, much less read it for comprehension. And I was just reading this, I was just reading this article from some clickbait thing, ranking ranking all the King Diamond albums from worst to best. And this is what the person said about House of God, the House of God album from 2000. Set in a mysterious church that, not entirely surprisingly, turns out to be full of truly terrifying shit that would make most people go instantly mad, House of God is the dark horse of the King Diamond catalog, a slow-burning enigma with a handful of great songs, Black Devil, The Trees Have Eyes, and Help, and lashings of textbook Diamond goodness. Okay, setting aside the fact that that was all entirely, in its entirety, one sentence, it had 4 adverbs. And one of those adverbs was modifying another adverb. And I mean, just trying to read that. Oh God, okay. I know it's clickbait. I know it's drivel that's churned out to just entertain people as they scroll and that kind of thing, but I just needed to stop and correct this sentence. I've rewritten it, broken it down into multiple sentences, and rewritten it in a way that is much more coherent and flows much better. Set in a mysterious... House of God is the dark horse of the King Diamond catalog. Set in a mysterious church full of terrifying shit that would make most people go mad, the album is a slow-burning enigma with a handful of great songs. Black Devil, The Trees Have Eyes, and Help all contain lashings of textbook Diamond goodness. There we go. I'm sorry, this video is no great revelation or deep contemplation on the current zeitgeist of the world and all of that, but oh man, don't write like you talk. Seriously. Adverbs are almost completely unnecessary. And again, in human speech, we use them without thinking about it. You've heard me doing it now. But when you're writing, they weigh down they weigh down the substance, they weigh down the sentence structure itself. They make the sentence impenetrable and difficult to read. And then they usually carry poor connotations of what you're trying to imply with the adverb. For example, someone once asked me to critique their creative writing, and they had the sentence, surprisingly, the chips were stale. And the thing is, okay, you could just say the chips were stale. Or you could say, if you need it to be surprising, you could say, I was surprised to find that the chips were stale. Or better yet, I tasted the chips and they had gone stale. Something like that. But see, the thing is, when you say surprisingly, the idea that food would go bad is not surprising. That's the natural state of what will happen to food if it's not eaten. And so that's what happens when you overload your sentences with adverbs. I don't know what else to say. That sentence was a real doozy.